For years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been a team that's lived off their defense. The defense has been the identity. There was a point in time, it was a few years back, where we had the Killer Bees, and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was amazing. One of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. But then the defense couldn't stop anybody. So they've done the exact opposite and whipped back to old time Steeler. Okay, it's going to be about the defense. Well, my question, and right now, is do the Steelers need to start spending more money on offense? I know there's a lot of you out there that are screaming at the screen right now saying, yes, Big B, you absolutely have to. Well, let's take a look at this, man. First off, 10 of the top 15 guys on the Steelers roster, their top or not on the Steelers roster, but 10 of the top 15 salaries on the Steelers roster are all guys. So that's the first thing. I mean, heck, there's only 11 defensive players that can start. So you got 10 defensive guys in the top 15. Now let's take it a step further. 3 of those guys are offensive guards of those top 15. That's one thing to keep in mind. 3 of those guys are offensive guards. One of those offensive guards is a backup and doesn't play. Think about that for a second. He's in the top 15 of salaries. Another person is the kicker. Now, don't get me wrong, Boswell is outstanding, but that's who's in your top 15. And then the last guy, it just happens to be Najee Harris, who we're not picking up the 5th year of his contract. So there's that. So again, let me break that down again for you. Of the top 15 salaries the Steelers have, 10 of them are on the defensive side. 3 guys are offensive guards. One of those is a backup offensive guard. That's nuts for me to say that, isn't it? One of the top 15 salaries is an offensive guard that does not play. That's just insane. Another one's a kicker, and another one's a 5th-year option that we did not pick up, who chances are is not going to be with the Steelers next year. At some point, I'm sorry, the Steelers have to start spending money on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it's just that. They're not paying a quarterback. They're not paying a running back. They're not paying a wide receiver. They're not paying any tight ends. At some point, man, they've just got to make it a point to start spending money on skill positions. Heck, they haven't spent any money on a skill position since Big Ben, since his last extension. Well, yeah, I get that, but I mean, and I know the first thing that people are going to say, well, a lot of the guys are on rookie deals, and no, they're not. No, they're not. Look, the Steelers, they missed on Kenny Pickett. Let's just start there. We missed on Kenny Pickett. And I know there might be some pushback to that. You would be wrong. I'm sorry that we missed on Kenny Pickett, and he's no longer on the team. So we're still not spending any money there. Even if we re-sign Russell Wilson, he's not going to get some crazy $55, $60 million deal that's going to hamstring the salary cap. That's not what's going to happen. Even if it's just that's just not going to happen. Even if it's Justin Fields, I'm sorry, people, that's not what's going to happen here. So let's look at the Steelers' salaries. It's just look at the quarterbacks here: Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Kyle Allen, John Plumlee, a rookie. Look at those salaries. And you think about it for a second in comparison to other teams that we're competing with. Just think of Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. I mean, you could throw in Deshaun Watson. I think that's kind of the outlier. But look at Burrow and Jackson. $55 million a year. Our starting quarterback, $1.2 million. Even if you want to throw Justin Fields in there, $3.2 million. So that's what we're comparing it to. And look, Daniel Jones making $40 million. Baker Mayfield making $50 million. At some point, the Steelers got to pay. Let's move on. Look at running back. Look at the running backs. Najee getting 4.1. We just talked about him, more than likely not going to be on the team. And I know a lot of people say, well, you don't need to pay running backs all that kind of money. Hey, the San Francisco 49ers were just in the Super Bowl. And I know they're not paying a quarterback, and they're not, but they are paying a running back. They are paying 2 wide receivers, and they're also paying a tight end. They're spending money on that side of the football. They also just happen to be paying arguably one of the best left tackles in football. So they're spending money on that side of the field. The Pittsburgh Steelers can do the same thing, but we're just not. We're just not. Look at wide receiver. Think about what the wide receivers are signing for right now. Our highest paid is 1.8. Now, again, I'm a big context matters type of guy. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, George Pickens is going to get another deal. Obviously, it's going to be a big deal. Is it going to be a $30 million deal? I don't know. But he is obviously going to get a big deal. But as of right now, he's not. 1.8. Van Jefferson, Scotty. I mean, look at that. Look at that. The Steelers have the ability to pay more, and then look at tight end. And tight end is a premium position now. And I know Freiermuth is going to get another deal. He is. I would suspect, is what I should say, Pat Freiermuth gets another deal before the season gets started. I would think that they are working on an extension for him right this very second. So I would suspect that Pat Freiermuth gets a new deal before the season started, especially with the role that, number one, he has on the team, he's going to have on the team in the future. Yeah, I suspect Pat Freiermuth gets a big raise before the season comes to a head here. But as it sits right now, he's not. Again, Steelers got to spend some money on that side of the football, man. It's just time. It's just time. Look, the Steelers have to be, they got to get into this day and age as far as football means. And when I say that, I'm talking about go out and get a free agent. They can go out and get a free agent. And the time is now, man. The time is now to go out and get a free agent with some draft capital. Go out and get a Cortland Sutton. Go out and get a brandonaiyuk. Use some draft capital. Do you have to spend $30 million on Ayuk? Maybe not. Probably not. Would I do that? No. But maybe he's not asking for that. All this has been allegedly anyway on what he turned down $26 million. We know that Cortland Sutton, it hasn't been allegedly what he's asking for. Not to mention $16.5 million in cap space. We got room. We can create more room. Restructure Cam Hayward's deal. Restructure TJ Watt's deal. Restructure Mika's deal. We got the ability to do that, people. There's room. At some point, we have just got to put our best foot forward and say, we are going to spend this money on the offensive side of the ball, and it's not going to be on 3 guards. I mean, just the 3 guards. Are you kidding me? Oh, gotta spend some money on some skill position players. I think it's coming, but hopefully it gets done sooner than later. I would love for the Steelers to be able to go out and do that. Poll question, no. Big poll question. Are the Steelers currently spending enough money at the skill positions? I think we probably already know the answer to that, but please leave your answers in the comments section. Got to start spending on that side of the ball, man. It's just a necessity. It is just a necessity.